Hey citizens, Dean Ironstar here. Welcome to another day in the EPTU. Alright, you know what? EVA. Wow, what a change. It's almost like you're a snaky Superman. It's pretty cool, and it makes a lot more sense to have it this way than it was the janky old way. So, a lot more maneuverable, you can get a lot more angles, and you can really attack well. I like it. It's definitely one of the changes that has made the most sense. And it really does bring it into a AAA kind of game. The feel, the look, everything's great. Once you get used to it, you can control it pretty good, and you look pretty snazzy when you do it. The other thing that's pretty cool, look at these new stations. Pretty good. This one happens to be hostile, so I'm just going to do a quick flyby. You can see the scale. It's pretty cool. The other thing that's really changed is the map. I've accepted a mission, and now we just got to go to the planet. You click the planet, click go there. It traces your route, gives you the information on the right on how much time it's going to take and how far the distance is. And it's just like normal. Go ahead and hit that warp button and off you go. I'm going to head over to Hurston. Let's go ahead and get this combat mission taken care of. Definitely you can see that there's been some changes with the planetary tech. It looks a lot better. Clouds have definitely made it to a new level. And it's a little easier to find your mission now that it's highlighted in bright yellow instead of just that light blue that's kind of easy to miss on the horizon. The other thing that's changed is the modes. So it's actually called Master Mode Switch. Basically what I did is just changed what I used to use for getting prepped for Quantum to switching Master Modes, and it's almost like nothing changed. One thing that is quite a bit different, it is much faster to move around now. A lot of the time is taken out with these new master modes. You're able to get up to top speed much faster. And switching to combat from combat mode to master mode, you'll notice on the top left there's a nav quantum indicator that changes in green when it's fully set up. One thing that's kind of strange is it always sets it up where the speed limiter is about in the middle. I'm going to need to find that setting and get it changed so it always goes up to max. Going to go ahead and change it up to full speed. Notice the difference in the speed rush on that. It is quite different. I like it. The other thing that's changed is combat. When you've got a good server, and that's kind of rare in the EPTU right now, you will see that combat is much smoother, and the enemies a little bit more dangerous, which is good. I'm not saying that this is going to be high-end combat right here. This is still low-end tier, very low risk. Again, that yellow really makes that target stand out. Definitely an upgrade. It does look a little arcadey, but if we can tone it down while still keeping the marker, it's pretty good. I like it. Another thing that's changed, and I do like, is you can actually see that this ship is going to start getting crippled. Visibly, you can see that it's heavily damaged.
Target destroyed.
Soft death, a couple more shots. These large asteroids have always looked good, but it seems like there's just been another polish pass on it. Could be just the lighting. It just looks a little better. Well, let's go ahead and land. The landing mode, you can turn it off so nothing changes, but technically it's what you're going to do anyway when you lower the gear.
Landing
You don't
gear
want to rush
deployed.
it, so I kind of like it.
Landing gear raised.
Just makes you put your landing gear down
Landing gear deployed.
closer to the actual time of landing versus way before.
Landing complete.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the new system for looting. You'll notice that there's going to be a couple things. One of the things I'm not a big fan of, but I knew it was coming, is there's no local inventory to dump everything into and then kind of sort it out when you get back to your ship. Everything's physicalized, so you will have to actually carry anything you want to take. But the new loot menu actually makes more sense. And you can swap directly from the loot crate. So not bad. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I do not think it's finalized, but it's good. Looking good so far. And let's take a look at the new clouds. I mean, look at that. Wow, right? And the Hornet model is amazing. The engine going through its different stages with a really good change in the cone. Awesome. Another thing that's changed, definitely lighting pass and texture pass on the Planet Tech. Hurston's looking a lot better. Now, it does seem like there needs to be a little bit more optimization. The water effects aren't as crisp in the PU as it is in Arena Commander. But again, it's rendering quite a bit more, so I can see where some of the issues are going to come from. Also, there's a lot more reflections going on and different shades, but it looks so much better. The full textures, both the ground and everything else, just looks so much better. Everything has definitely gotten an upgrade. The one thing you can see here, this is a little glitchy on the surface. I'm not sure if it's just it didn't render in properly, or maybe there's an issue currently with that shader. The starfish look a lot better. Still no movement and still static, but it's definitely starting to look good, you know. The fauna, so awesome. Definitely good vibrant colors. Your character reacting going through heavier brush. The radial controller, definitely this is a Squadron 42 move over. You can definitely tell they're going for a more console style control scheme. While I see some of this changing from Squadron 42 to Star Citizen in the future, we're definitely beta testing the control scheme for Squadron 42, and what better way to do it in the PU.
Engines online. Takeoff complete.
The hovering animation and water effects, I mean, that's cool. That looks good. Scene from the cockpit, and when you finally take off, there is definitely a sense of speed that was missing from the previous flight model. One thing I would like to see with the water is the change between ships. Right now you pretty much get the same effect no matter how big or small engines on your ship. But man, does it look good. Especially when you get down low. The other thing that is definitely a godsend is the speed in which you can now leave planets in atmosphere. And the transition through the clouds looks a lot more natural. Head back down to Microtech. I was really hoping to get a shot at taking a look at the animals and fauna on Microtech. Unfortunately, I'm not going to find any of the dogs on this run. Unfortunately, the server became unstable, and I wasn't able to log back in for about 20 minutes after it crashed. But I did get a chance to take a good look at some of the environments, and I'll give you a little show on things have changed a little bit. It's definitely upscaled a little bit, and it's got to be the lighting. Everything just looks a little bit more vibrant. As you can see on the Planet Tech, the clouds look much better from a higher distance, and you don't get the pixelization that some people were getting. Ground textures pretty close to being the same as they were before. The close-up, much better. From a higher distance, you really can't tell that there's going to be any detail when you land. Not quite sure that they can really translate what you're going to see when we land. Kind of looks like there's a little bit of pop in there. It's not really pop in, more just detail.
Landing complete. Engines offline. Takeoff complete.
But as you can see, the ground cover is actually really well done. It's got a little movement, so it doesn't look fully static, which is good. And if you've ever been up in mountains in Colorado / Wyoming, any place like that, you'll recognize this kind of ground cover. It looks really good. You know, down trees, partial trees. The mountains in the distance look absolutely gorgeous. I think the frost comes onto your armor a little too quick. You should be able to be out there for a good 10-15 minutes before you start frosting up. Again, with the radial menu, not a super big fan. It wasn't that ingenious the old way either. It looked very arcadey. It still looks a little arcadey. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that done well. Other than if you could bind it to a key, but unfortunately, there's just so many things being used in this game already. Just adding another key wouldn't be a good idea. So I guess we gotta live with what we gotta live with. entry animations. It looks like they've been updated a little bit, a little less jerky.
Engines online. Takeoff complete. Landing gear raised.
This is Dean Ironstar, signing out. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you again.